As for gods, we see a lot of switches. This time it's going to be a lot of Uranoses. Double Uranos for PK with Loki, and against them double Uranos with Loki as well. Alright, so it's going to be at least a mirror, but not Zeus's, so it's going to be something different than the last game. The first to have a look at right now will be 7up at the bottom, also a red player. So how's his starting position? Well, it seems like the chickens are kinda okayish, and the gold as well. That's not really any problem. And he sees the zebras just outside the tower here, so that should be a place to go for his early hunt. Yes, just now build the economy guild to go for some hunting dogs, of course. And well, let's have a look somewhere around. He just found some extra goatees. Well, that's about it, I think, and I'm not really expecting any extra hunt here anytime soon. And well, let's switch into the pocket. That's going to be MPT Fred. I think that's a pretty favorable position for him, as he's the as PK Icipole and 7up are more skilled, so they are better at the flanks. And well, nice gold. TC placement is kinda okay, and giraffes here. I'm kinda thinking that's going to be a lot more than just one, so that's a pretty good spot for this to see, and will be very important quite soon. Zebras as well, and oh, well, this is a very good herd. God damn it, this is at least double, maybe even triple herd. I'm not exactly sure, but that's very huge. That's very huge for PK right there. Yeah, that's very important for the game for them. Okay, and Loki for Icy Ball is on the left. Not exactly sure what the land was meant to be. As there is not really any sea here, just a few lakes, and well, the positioning here is not bad. Not bad, some extra zebra at the back, that's, well, kinda it, and some extra gold at the back as well, with berries. Okay, not bad, but this is, wow, simply wow, we don't really see this all that often. Switching to the opponents, that's Hellenic as the first Oranos for JSS. We see something interesting here. Well, zebras or rather giraffes at the back as well, together with some extra gold, and something else interesting. Well, monkeys and guarding some relic. Archer Ballista, Chair Ballista, Pierce attack. That's very nice indeed. And might help in some attacks and defense as well. Oh wow, this is pretty great because on Savannah I kinda expect that we're going to see a lot of raiding and better unit line of sight. That's going to go quite a long ways in actually improving any such attempts. Decent EC, although it's kinda in the middle of the map, but I wouldn't really say it's all that bad because this one is kinda middlish as well. So that's 1v1 on this. And what's this relic? Oh, gold trickle. So come on, this is such a bountiful place of this map. A lot of food and extra free gold. So that's pretty sweet. And on the relic is villager gold gatherate. That's a very sweet one as well. Going to be very important to take for anybody. And well, right now you see, okay, just now saying there's a lot of hunt as well. We'll have a look in just a moment, but what I wanted to say is just Count is going for a temple right now. Gathering from giraffes and something interesting, well, big herd at the back as well. So they are basically 1-1, PK and JSS on big herds of the giraffes here. Otherwise, decent gold at the back. All decent. Actually, it seems like PK have slightly more looking at the minimap here. So yeah, I would be saying they have a bit more, and that's another hurt for JSS. So I definitely hope that PK have something like that at the back as well. I would kinda think so, because with the balanced maps in the Wobbly Balance patch, yeah, maps are basically mirrored in this. The last to have a look at is Earth, who should be advancing into Prometheus anytime now. We are at 330, already having the dock up, dock, temple up, and yes, clicking in. So that's that, and is he having some good line of sight or something? This is pretty good back hunt. That's sweet, 7up right now, going for some pause, so we will have a time to have a look how the players are scouting. Right now he's going for some aggressive scouting. One oracle here, second here, third here, so he's definitely looking to see how Earth is doing, and he will be very intent on raiding on him. So let's see how well that will go for the red player. Is he at least advancing? Yeah, he's 9%, so he's going to be basically the same as Earth. And for the other players, MPT Fred not advancing yet. And somebody trying to fix Luck Spike, and yeah, so he is. Icipole is right now going for second temple, as you would expect for a Loki, and he's already 40% into Heimdall, or rather Forstetis, sorry. Yeah, it's not going to be Heimdall. Heimdall would be for a bit more aggressive build, but he's not going for it, he's going for standard. And well, Herses are popping up. 42% into Prometheus. I was looking for count, 23%. So it seems like Icipole is actually going to be the first into Classical Age, which is kind of interesting. And another relic here, cheaper armor research costs. That could be interesting in the middle game here. That really could be. So otherwise, while we wait, you can see that Count from Count is going for the gold gather, Icipole for the gold trickle. That's kind of one-on-one for both teams. And well, finally we see some advances here. So how's it looking here with the aggression? Everybody at reasonably same time, with Icipole being the winner of the race. And right now he's having 3 Heresiers, another 2 being queued in, and he's going for it. And it seems he's going for Hellenic on the left right now, I would say. And since he's very far away, he might actually be caught by Count for Count. So even though Count was slower than Icipole, just for the sole reason that Icipole has too long to go this long way, the advantage is kind of nullified here. But it seems like they have missed each other. So it's going to be a bit interesting to see who actually decides to go back. So let's see if he is actually prepared for this army. Right now, well, he has at least 1 Turma together with 1 Murmillos, so that should be enough. But once actually some spawn happens here, that's not going to be enough. But Icipole right now seeing that he doesn't really have a chance against those extra heroes and those 2 Turmas, so he's going back and he will defend against all this attack here. Yeah, pretty good army for Count, who is having advantage in numbers, and Spy being called on this, well, that's kind of an interesting choice. Not exactly sure if it's the correct one. If he wants to engage in battle, it's definitely not. But, well, let's see. Quite a lot of giraffes here. So yeah, as I was saying, this big hunt here has right next to it pretty much the same. Punishing the gazelle here. Punishing the gazelle, but yes. And now it seems like Count von Count is not interested in engaging in the battle, so it was correct spy here from Icipole, who will see where the Heresiers are going, so that's going to be a very good advantage for them. And well, something more interesting somewhere else. It seems like Hellenic is joining in the fun. And PK will know all about it because of the very nicely placed spy. And yes, you can see that double is going to be here from PK as well. As MPT Fred together with Icipole are having a pretty good armies, especially Icipole, I would say. And he has a pretty good chance of spawning some nice myth units here, I think. And wow, this is a slightly misplayed by PK, I would say, because they have let Hellenic to actually go behind their backs into the hunt here. And well, this is going to be the Golden Grail here, or rather Holy Grail. Once JSS somehow can make PK lose the position here, they will be able to go into their main hunt spot, and that's going to be very important indeed. Red, though, is joining the battle as well, so that's like all 3 PKs at the same spot. And well, not the same can be said about JSS, because you can see that Earth is very intent on raiding and he's not really interested in engaging in some page battle. So with this very nice spy, which is slightly better than the army, I would say, he just knows where the opponents are gathering food. Now he is forced to actually change the venues here. Also, you can see that Earth is, yeah, it seems like altogether he's not interested in some big battles. He's going for second TC, so he's already switching into some kind of echo. And Count von Count builded just now his second, and Hellenic is going for second as well. So it seems like JSS are going for some more interesting builds here. And well, they are a bit slower here because of the very nicely placed spy. So as I was saying that the economic spy on the economy units might be slightly better, this one is important as well because it belies what Count for Count is aiming to do. So this will be a pretty big engagement right now, it seems. and this TC won't be coming up anytime soon. But, well, will it be really enough, this army here? They definitely, PK, have to hope that they get some very nice mythical spawns, which they are just not getting from the Loki. They can be said about Count von Count, though. So let's see how this battle develops, because this is going for some very reasonable 3v3. And whoa, okay, this guy is the one with the spy. So it should be prudent for PK to actually try and avoid him if they can somehow. But they can't, so he will be dead pretty soon. Right about now. Yes, so they are losing the spy ability, and that's going to be an advantage gone for PK. And they couldn't even win anything here, so they just slow their opponents down, but at the same time lost all their armies. Yeah, you can see right now that they are having literally nothing. Just maybe Red has a bit of an army here for Raiden, which he should right now employ. But yeah, that wasn't really a good engagement for PK, and JSS are right now going into full offensive, I think. Because Hellenic has decent Radiant army, and same could be said about Earth, and he should be catching 7 up in a reasonable time and trying to kill him. Also, the TC advantage is definitely in JSS favor right now, so they will be going for some very nice echo. And I'm very interested if maybe they will be thinking about even advancing into Heroic. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But so far it doesn't seem so, so let's check. Oh yeah, but Icy Ball is definitely going for it, as 10% Bragi is already here. And that might be a very actually nice play from him, but he needs to defend against this pretty strong army from Hellenic, and that's not going to be easy. He's having some kind of army, but even with the help from MPT Fred, that might not be enough, especially if Count von Count goes from the back, which he does, and he just catches this really off guard, which is a very good play. So can he micro him though? Oh, he can't. Well, once this engagement is going on, they... I was thinking they might cooperate a bit better, and actually if they attacked at the same time, I thought they might be having some decent shot at actually making something happen here, but they decided that it's not time yet, and he's waiting for some reinforcements, Count von Count. So that's very nice, and well... It's just a waste of INAR and giving some free INAR to Count von Count. So Icy Polo with Flame Weapons is here, and I'm kinda thinking he might be forced to use it very soon. If Hellenic is intent in some concerted attack with Count von Count. Right now though it doesn't seem so. It seems like he's just going for some extra raiding, and he might be trying to catch this bit of a red army and help the blue in the raiding, but well, that's that. And Count von Count is right now the only JSS who is going for some nice raiding, and he's using flaming weapons, which is a pretty good idea right now, because in this battle it would be very important. So will we see actually flaming weapons for Icy Pole as well? I'm thinking he doesn't really need them. I would think that... yeah, he definitely doesn't need it. This battle is going very badly from Count von Count, and he shouldn't have taken it in the first place, so I'm kinda thinking this is pretty much wasted flaming weapons, as he's lost all his army to basically a triple of his opponents. So that was slight miscalculation on his part here, but it allowed his teammates to actually go for some very nice raiding, especially Earth, who is just now disrupting the 32nd TC being built up by Fred, which is a very nice job. And this spy is still seen where 7-up is gathering gold, so it might be important later on. But this is, oh man, this is a pretty important raid to the game right now, because Icy Paul is going to lose almost all his dwarfs on gold, and he has absolutely no army anywhere nearby. And he's going through the forest here, so... oh... As well as Icy Paul was playing so far, right now he's being put like, I don't know, 10 minutes earlier into the game. This is very important and very bad for him at the same spot. So that's a very good rating from JSS. And what's happening here? I saw some multicolored dots in blue base, and that's going to be a lot of red, or a lot. Some reds, but they're not really going to do anything. And well, do we see some other aid-in? Well, Count for Count is still not giving up and trying to make something happen here. But with the extra birdie damage, that's not really something he can do right now with this army. But the push from the left is pretty strong right now, doubled by Hellenic and Earth. And yeah, that's not something MPT Fred can actually battle but on his own. We're not really seeing any upgrades yet from either side. But MPT Fred is through Heroic and Icy Pole is actually through Tier. Well, that's kinda interesting. All the guys are in Heroic, but Icy Pole is in Tier. So that's kind of interesting choice. You don't really see that played all that often. So let's see what kind of idea he has for actually using it. Yellow was trying to attack the front TC here, and it actually, I think, wasn't any front from JSS. I think it was a stolen from PK. So that's a pretty good play from JSS, count for count. And here we have the flaming weapons and Fimbulwinter. Alright, so that's a pretty good strategy, because I think he's aiming to kill as many TCs as he can. Yeah, right now he will definitely succeed with all his piggies here, and the flaming weapons Heracers into Teal's base, so it's going to be a TC down without any doubt whatsoever. It's a pretty good idea. And oh, he needs to kill this. He needs to kill this very soon, because Hellenic is going Helios in this, and will he manage? Will he manage? Well, the TC is already halfway down through the Wolfies, and with the Piggies he might be in time. Oh yeah, he will. He definitely will be in time, because Count von Count is having just one Herseer here, and that's that's pretty bad for Hellenic and JSS altogether. So that's no Helios for you. No Helios for you, and are we going to see something interesting, like maybe an TC being built by Icy Pole? Not sure right now. Hellenic is down to just one TC, and will are we seeing some nice upgrade into Mythic? Not yet, but we see some extra heroic powers here, and pretty good raiding by Icy Pole being done. But Count for Count is definitely replying in kind with a lot of Herseers and some piggy here, and he should be taking care of this army, given he actually spawns some good mythical units here. But that's not happening so far, and the birdies should be the deciding factor in this raiding. At the same time though, we see some pretty good Tarian gate right into the middle of 7-Up's base, which is slightly unfortunate because he will be stopped from gathering food, and these guys will do quite a lot of damage here. And well, Earth together with Red are having some kind of engagement here, supported by 7-Up SL, but Earth is doing slightly better, well, quite a lot better actually, due to those 4 birdies, as they are very hard to actually take care of. At the same time though, we see that Icy Pole is right now switching into full raiding mode with his piggies, and due to the kinda weak TCs from the Atlanteans, he's not having any kind of trouble with this. Yeah, this TC is going down as well, so that's a pretty good job. And well, how's it looking here in 7-Up's base? Not really well, because destroyers are right now targeting the TC, and the birds are just doing all kinds of damage and wreaking all kind of havoc in Yellow's army. I was just laughing or smiling at this Tartarian spawn actually helping the opponent here. That's something that Earth actually doesn't want. Spawns killing his own destroyers. That's kind of unfortunate, but TC is down nonetheless. So pretty good job by Earth. And do we see some other push somewhere else? Well, still some raiding going on by Icy Pole, but that's slightly being stopped, and something at the top as well, but they have been caught and cornered in some pretty bad spot, so it seems like Count von Count should be able to take care of this piggy and double Herseer that are almost dead. In the meantime, Hellenic has been able to rebuild, and he actually switched from Helios into Hecates, so that's interesting that he didn't go with the same go that he went with earlier. And well, JSS Earth is right now switching venues, as he's determined that this base is basically dead. Yeah, which is pretty good estimation right now, and he's aiming to put 7-Up out of the game altogether. But this army is not really all that strong. It's relying on just those dryads, which don't really have all that much push against buildings. So that's not all that strong. But we see some extra attack here in the middle though. where Icipole has somehow rounded his raiding party from the right side of the map into the middle. So that's TC down for count, who was at 4, but just now will be brought into some reasonable boundaries at 3. But yeah, that's really just it. Just killing the TC and sacrificing his mythical units, because the army from JSS is quite strong right now. I'm just gonna have a look at some upgrades. Green is having none, heal none as well, and it seems like nobody is having upgrades whatsoever here. Okay, that's a pretty decent Tartarian gate as well. Right into the middle of the base, but other than that, I don't think it really does anything important. It's just going to destroy maybe a bit of houses, but with Icipole having some herses waiting here, it's not really going to do all that much reasonable damage with the piggies as well. So let's have a look at the bottom, where we see that JSS are very intent on actually capturing this base. Savannah was trying to somehow protect this TC to take it a bit later, because he doesn't really have the resources right now, it seems, and he built a palace instead of it, but that's not really working all that well for him. But MPT Fred is not doing half bad, and with at least the base upgrades here, being one of the few players with actually some upgrades in the game. Yeah, baseline just now. 7 up, is he having something? No, nothing whatsoever, as he's been stretched quite a lot. The palace is down, and well, I kinda think it might be up for the taking quite soon for JSS, because this army is quite a lot of Arcuses, so it's not that bad, because you can see that Count is not really switching into anything useful. He's having quite a lot of throwing axemen and hersters, so with a bit of micro yellow together with red should be able to kill them. But they better be careful. Once Earth joins with these destroyers, that's going to be it. So yeah, right now it seems like proper 2v2 between 7up, MPT Fred and his opponents, but 7up is right now recognizing that this battle is not to be won, exactly as Earth joins the battle, and well, that's it. You can see that Icipole was still trying to go for some extra TC raid, and 6 piggies would be very, very nice for that, but PK decided that the game is lost for them, and JSS win 2-0. So, GG. GG, and some extra raiding was happening from Hellenic on these gold villas, so yeah, that was another reason, because those villas weren't getting anywhere. Hellenic would have been able to place the army between them and the wall, catch them, and run another slaughter. So good job. And let's have a look at the post game. Count von Count as the best, and he was the pocket. Yeah. Okay, so that's there you go. And a very nice echo indeed. And if you can compare it with Icipole, for example, who wasn't playing half bad, but he was the Loki for PK, and he's having just 39 wheelies, and Count von Count 85. That's just like worlds apart really. So even though PK Icipole, I think, was the MVP for their team, and he was playing really well, he was caught there very badly by the Radiant from Hellenic. He lost like at least 10 wheelies on the goal there. That was pretty bad, and yeah, he went just all into the Radiant. It was an interesting strategy, faster advances, but in the end it was not what would bring them the victory. Yeah, pretty decent upgrades. 1107 and especially the 1341 was pretty great. So looking at some of those statistics here, quite a lot of wood actually for MPT Fred here and other players as well. So they were kind of uneven echoes. Could have been managed slightly better for literally everyone, and some extra gold here for both 7up SL and MPT Fred, but that was basically because they were getting killed, especially 7up, so he was having a good echo, but no opportunity to actually use it. Alright, GG.